Getting into this romance tale where starts with a girl named Tessa, and it is her first day at a completely new college that is somewhat distant. Her mom and boyfriend choose to take her to her new college dorm. There she is, introduced to two girls, named Steph, and beside her is Tristan. It is obvious that these girls are quite sociable and very chatty. Her mom catches a whiff of some weed and steps out of there, but Tessa trails behind her and requests that she not create a scene. She guarantees to rely on her for this as she pledges to her. Her mother is proud of her and hopes for her success before departing from the college. Tessa's partner also departs after giving her an adorable kiss. Tessa returns to her room, where Steph inquires if she startled her mother. She believes her brother is cute, but she corrects her by saying he is her boyfriend. Steph departs immediately after. The next morning, she gets up and happily walks to her classroom, where she finds a guy named Landon. He is an English student unlike Tessa, whose field of study is economics. She appears thrilled and eager for her classes. Returning to her dorm, she comes back after enjoying a nice bath and discovers a guy sitting in the room, reading a book quietly. She was surprised to see him and told him to go, but he advised her not to shrink away because he wasn't paying attention. Steph gets there and verifies that it is her friend. Steph invites her to go with them to the party, but the guy is certain that she won't attend. Before departing, he reveals to her the conclusion of the book she was reading titled Great Gatsby, thus ruining it. The following day, she was studying in the library and once more, spots the same guy. This makes her quite uneasy while both lock eyes for a moment. Later, Steph comes up to her and invites her to a party that evening. She insists on not going, but she decides to alter things a bit. Tessa picked a dress to wear, and upon seeing it, Steph thinks it is a little too formal. They are finally at the party, where everyone is drinking and having a good time. Later, Tessa meets all of Steph's friends. They encourage her to have a drink, and at first, she is unsure, but she eventually takes a shot right after a girl from the group speaks harshly about her. They choose to play a game of truth or dare. Tessa picked truth, and she is being asked where the wildest place she had a romantic moment was. She decided to skip the question and pick dare instead. The villain from the group approaches and asks if she wants to participate, but she is finished with the game and walks away. She calls her boyfriend, but he somewhat reprimands her for drinking and she hangs up the call. Later she enters an empty storage room and gazes at the books. She is once more approached by the villain, who asks her what she was searching for. Tessa is concerned that he might be intoxicated, but he reassures her that he doesn't consume alcohol, just like she does. He shows her that this is his room while holding her hand. He inquires if their dare is still happening. They were nearly about to kiss, but she departs after saying she can't go through with it. As she strolls back to her room, she receives a message from her boyfriend Noah and later at night before sleeping. The following day, she attends the class and spots the same guy named Landon, then takes a seat beside him. It is shown that the guy from the party was also a newcomer named Hardin Scott. When the professor poses a question about a love story book, he believes love is merely a trade everyone is programmed to want. Show the right collection of appealing characteristics, which can be activated and deactivated. On the other hand, Tessa disagrees with him that the women turned down the man in the book, when mistreated in the past, which was just incredible. This continues for a while, and Hardin meets her after class and tells her that it was thrilling before he leaves. She began to complain to Landon that he is very arrogant. Right there she is shocked to learn that Hardin is connected to Landon. His mom is seeing Hardin's dad and they hardly get along. In the evening, Steph is getting a tattoo and invites Tessa to get one too. She discloses that Noah is the only person she has ever dated and her mother believes they will wed someday. Before sleep, she notices Steph sharing some affectionate moments with her girl and she turns away her face. The following day, she is grabbing a coffee and is approached by Hardin. He wants to begin anew and make friends since Steph is their common friend. Hardin wants to show her a location, but she prefers to maintain her distance. She was nearly ready to walk away, but chose to continue with Hardin. They drive a short distance in his car, to a spot that resembles a jungle. They stroll a bit farther, where Tessa's gaze lands on a large lake. He shares that this is his favorite spot and invites her to swim. He removes his clothes and leaps into the water. He insists on entering the water and gives her his t-shirt. He turns his gaze while she puts it on. He gently leads her into the water and begins to enjoy. Tessa inquires about the person he cares for the most, to which he discloses himself. He inquires about her boyfriend and learns that he is a high school student who cares for her. He has her hold her breath and reveals to her a path of quiet. Hardin was gazing at her as if she were a rare, forbidden gem he had discovered. She inquired if he wanted to be friends, but he clarifies they can never be, and they begin to kiss each other passionately. After, he again shifts his gaze so that she can change, but Tessa instead reaches out to him and they begin to share romantic moments. Each touch she felt was causing her to breathe more quickly. Afterward, they head into a bar together. Tessa inquired about his past life, but he chose to skip the question. She inquires why he doesn't have faith in love due to the event in class, but he advises her not to take everything he says seriously and makes Tessa chuckle. At the same time, Steph and a different friend of Hardin arrive and join him, causing him to behave a little strangely. Later, he tells Tessa that it was all enjoyable, but he doesn't date, even though Tessa was ready to share about them with her boyfriend. Hardin appears somewhat let down after she departs. Returning to her dorm, in the morning she discovers Hardin sitting beside her. However, this was merely a dream. The following day, she sees her boyfriend waiting outside with flowers. She couldn't believe that he was present. Tessa and Noah both attend a party at night, where Steph and her group choose to play the suck and blow game. When Tessa's turn arrives, she does not take part, to which Noah acts a bit protective, while Hardin steps in and begins to fight. Hardin departs immediately after. Later in the evening, Tessa was viewing a film with Noah but is worried about something. In the evening, she receives a call from Landon and heads out to see her. She discovers that Hardin and Landon had a conflict and he brought up her name as well so she could assist him. She learns that he is unhappy about his father marrying Landon's mother, while her mother resides in a mess back in London. He shatters the glass and Tessa gets hurt while attempting to pick it up. He brings her to his room and says sorry for how he treated her before. Hardin says that he is a wreck, to which Tessa also believes that she is a wreck. Noticing this, they both begin to share a brief romantic moment. One thing led to another and she ended up resting the whole night in his room. She approaches Noah, who is quite concerned about her. Immediately after, he spots Hardin standing there and realizes what is truly happening. He departs the location immediately after. She strolls back to her dorm heartbroken while being seen by Molly. Tessa feels as though she has lost a close friend. What she was experiencing could not be captured in basic terms. She felt quite unhappy during her classes and was attempting to speak with Noah. One day she spots Hardin outside and they choose to chat. He was not anticipating seeing her. She began to explain how her father departed when she was only 10 years old. Her mother could not endure this pain. While she was looking after her, Noah was present to assist. Noah is her closest friend, but he was so much more, she discloses. One day, Hardin has Tessa remain before the library shuts. He reads a book while she sits on his lap. Security locates them and chases after them. They chuckle while fleeing. This was set to be an unforgettable moment for both of them. Their connection was being observed by their friends. Hardin wouldn't even wait for her class, coming inside to tell her she was lovely. One day Tessa saw Hardin was jotting down something in the notebook. She wants to view it, but he mocks her frequently. Shortly after, they begin to share romantic moments. Unexpectedly, her mother swings the door open and discovers them in a compromising position. This was sufficient to make her extremely angry. She began to blame her roommate. She believes Tessa will mess up her life because of a guy. Tessa begins to argue and tells her mother that she will live her life the way she chooses and not how she wants to shape it. This makes her mom sad and emotional. Before departing, she implies that he will shatter her heart and also sever ties with her. She later discusses this situation with Landon, but he believes Hardin is complex. He advised her to be cautious. Hardin brings Tessa to a location that belongs to a friend of his father's, who is currently living in Italy. Hardin proposes to stay together in this location. Her mother cuts her off, so Hardin needed to take action. They both move into this place and begin to enjoy a joyful relationship. They share a lot of time together, giggle and appreciate the little moments. They visit numerous locations together. Hardin still can't believe that she is his now. He thinks that he does not deserve her, while Tessa thinks nothing will alter the way she feels about him. They later attend the wedding celebration of Hardin and Landon's parents. Both encounters with Landon's mom Karen and dad. They are happy to meet Tessa. Seeing his father with another woman makes Hardin very upset, so Tessa tries to soothe him. Hardin's dad begins to speak in front of everyone. Although he is complimenting Hardin, he informs Tessa that this is not the dad he was raised with. Even though he has transformed, some things remain the same. He began to describe a situation. One evening at a bar, his dad gets involved with the wrong people. When they returned for the revenge at his home, he could not prevent them from doing something to his biological mother. Afterward, they begin to dance while gazing into each other's eyes. They enter a room, where Tessa chooses to create a romantic moment. One day, Tessa is being watched with envy by Molly, and later, she begins to inquire about her boyfriend. She wants to learn more about Hardin, but Tessa does not share many details. Later, Molly sends a message on Hardin's phone that makes Tessa very suspicious of Hardin. When she asks him about what he is concealing, he tells her to trust him and that there is nothing to conceal. She is nervous and wants Hardin to call. One of her friends messaged her and asked her to meet at Videodrome and inform him about Hardin. She is in the car and sees Jade there, who informs her that he could be at Blind Bob's. There she discovers Steph and her pals. She discloses that she had been staying with Hardin off campus. Molly discloses that something is happening, but not what she believes. She shares with her a video from the day they first played Truth and Dare. Hardin had received a challenge to make her fall in love with him. After this occurs, he would simply turn it off. She couldn't believe what she saw, and she is completely stunned. He informs her that this is not the truth, it was all in the past and his feelings were all genuine. She departs without wasting any further time. Right now, Tessa is feeling the most alone in the entire world. She returns to her home and greets her mother, whom she embraces. She doesn't want to disclose what truly occurred, but she was present to express that she was sorry. Tessa also shows her affection for her and then walks away to meet Noah, who was curious about why she was there. She clarifies that she never intended to harm him. He was okay with that and they began to laugh. Tessa returns to the university and begins to compose an email to switch her major from economics to English. Meanwhile, Hardin couldn't move past their breakup and begins to weep, picturing all the times they shared together. Later, she receives an interview invitation for her internship at Vance Publishing. Tessa was seated in a lecture, where afterward she received an envelope from the teacher. While she mentioned Hardin handed it to her and clarifies how this was more for Tessa than for herself. Tessa notices that Hardin was sketching her images in his notebook. She also reads a work from Hardin, where he explains that he read hundreds of novels and only believed love was merely a fiction, until he discovered his Elizabeth Bennet. He never imagined he could be completely absorbed by her. Take her hands and let her guide him out of the shadows. He finally requests forgiveness. She once inquired who he cared for the most in the world. He discloses that it is Tessa,